Hey, I'm Bill. This is Vital Bike Chains. Today I'm going to be talking about a myth with waxing your chain, and that myth is that after you're taking it out of your pot of wax, you should immediately dip it in cold water. So I've got 3 samples of chain here. One we're going to let run kind of just normal as I normally do. And then the second one we're going to dip in cold water. And then the third one we're actually going to take out while the wax is like boiling maximum hot. And then we'll take these chains apart and see if we can see any difference. Please be quiet. Alright, so the chains have been sitting in this hot wax. Now I use Silka wax really for 2 reasons. One is the Silka wax has a little bit of a tint, so when we're breaking these chains open, maybe it'll help us see where the wax is a little better. And the second reason is I just sort of know the temperatures involved with Silka wax. So we're right under 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna take out this hot one and let it hang dry. So now the wax is right around that 150 degree mark where it's gonna start cooling down and turning back into a hard wax. So I'm gonna take out this warm one, which is the one I normally, the process I normally use. I'm going to hang it to cool and dry. And then we'll take out the cold one, and I've got some ice water here in a cup. Just gonna dip it in there. So again, here's my 3 chains. Hot, the one we took out of the pot when probably the wax is too hot. Warm is the one that sort of the process I normally use. I take the chain out when the wax is about to turn back into a hard wax. And then the cold we also took out of that same point where it's about to turn into a hard wax, but then we dipped it into a bath of cold water. Okay, so now let's take these chains apart. So the first one we'll look at is the hot one. This is the one where we took the chain out of the wax when it was, at its max temperature. And so when I got down to the inner links and broke them open and pulled off the rollers, I noticed very little, well, a lot less wax on the surfaces than I would have imagined. Next is the warm chain. This is the process I normally use. So I take the chain out of the wax just before the wax starts to harden back up again. And so when I pulled the inner links apart and pulled the rollers off, like a lot more wax kind of came out from inside of it than it did on the previous chain. And finally we have the cold chain, where I also took it out of the wax right before it was about to harden, but then I put it in a cup of ice water. So when I pulled this one apart, I really didn't see any difference between this chain that was put in the ice water compared to the other one where we just hang it to cool down. So here's a couple of close-up shots of the chains put together. And what I noticed was the chain that was hot and the chain that was warm, the outside surface pretty much had the same amount of wax built around it. However, when you look at the cold chain, you can see in the picture here, there's significantly more wax kind of within the links. So putting it in the cold water, I don't know that we're really gaining anything. Matter of fact, I'm a little concerned that you might even trap some water within the wax. The second thing is, that's just more, to me it's just more wax that's gonna shut off as you first use your chain. Well, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.